What is the air mass sensor and how does it work? The mass sensor in a car is an electronic device that measures the mass of air entering the engine. Its main function is to ensure an adequate air and fuel mixture to achieve efficient combustion and reduce polluting emissions. The air mass sensor is essential for optimal engine operation, as it helps ensure the correct air-fuel ratio, improving efficiency and reducing emissions. The air mass sensor is usually located in the air intake duct, before reaching the engine intake manifold. It measures the amount of incoming air and sends this information to the Engine Control Unit, ECU, which adjusts the amount of fuel injected accordingly. The operation of the air mass sensor is based on a physical principle called hot air flow sensor. This type of sensor consists of a thin platinum wire or thread that is electrically heated by an electric current. As air flows over the hot wire, the sensor detects the current needed to keep the wire at a constant temperature. When more air enters the engine, the air mass sensor wire cools more quickly and the electrical current needed to keep it at a constant temperature increases. The ECU interprets this change in current as an indication of increased air mass and adjusts the amount of fuel injected accordingly to maintain the optimal air-fuel ratio. On the other hand, when less air enters the motor, the wire cools more slowly and the electrical current needed to keep it at a constant temperature decreases. The ECU interprets this as a lower air mass and adjusts the amount of fuel injected to avoid a rich mixture that can increase fuel consumption and polluting emissions. In addition to its primary function of measuring the mass of air entering the engine and helping to maintain an ideal air-fuel ratio, the mass air sensor also performs other important functions. One of these functions is altitude compensation. As the car ascends to higher altitudes, the density of the air decreases, which affects the amount of oxygen available for combustion. The mass air sensor helps the ECU adjust the amount of fuel injected to compensate for this decrease in density, ensuring that the air-fuel mixture is adequate for optimal engine performance. Another function is the detection of leaks in the intake system. If there is an air leak in the intake duct, the air mass sensor can detect a decrease in the measured air mass and send a signal to the ECU to take corrective action. This ensures that there are no unwanted air leaks that could affect engine performance. It is important to note that there are different types of air mass sensor, such as the hot air flow sensor explained above, as well as the vane-type air flow sensor or the hot film air flow sensor. Each type of sensor has its own operating characteristics and specific applications in different vehicle models.